What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Danny FYR, Find Your Reason. I'm Danny B, aka Stan, aka whatever you want to call me. In today's video I've tried to go for something a little different, something I wouldn't normally go for, but it still sounds pretty interesting if you get me. So in this video is called Most Incredible Things Found in Abandoned Millionaire Mansions. So I mean, if anything, that title tells you anything. I mean, millionaire mansions, I'd imagine there's some good stuff to be found. So yeah. Oh, and this video was originally by Top 10s, so shout out to Top 10s, and go over, subscribe to them, and subscribe to me before you forget that one too. Right, now I've got all that out of the way, let's get on with this.
Hi, Charlie here. In any millionaire mansion, you can guarantee there's some cool stuff hiding inside. But this is amplified when that mansion is an abandoned one. These are some very expensive houses that were left to rot for various reasons. Maybe the very mysterious owner passed away, or in some cases they were criminals who had to flee. When people later entered their house to explore or investigate, they found some amazing things. From rare supercars hidden in a grandmother's garage, to a mafia mansion that is straight out of James Bond. Here are the most incredible things found in abandoned millionaire mansions.
Wow.
Rare supercars. It's not uncommon to find old cars in garages, but in 2018 a broke student was blown away after exploring his grandmother's garage. The student went to visit his grandmother's mansion. The house was incredibly old, dirty and cluttered, but when the student arrived he realized he'd never been in the garage. But inside he found something he never expected his elderly grandmother to own. There was a silver 1981 Lamborghini Countach in the garage, and parked next to it a red Ferrari 308. Together these cars are worth more than $450,000.
Wow,
not only are these supercars, but they're very rare ones too. The red Ferrari 308 was used by Tom Selleck in Magnum P.I. And the silver Lamborghini Countach was the same model Leonardo DiCaprio drove in The Wolf of Wall Street. These two amazing cars had been sitting in this grandmother's garage collecting dust for decades. They had been owned by her husband who passed away. The broke student who made this discovery said that it hurt his soul that the cars had been abandoned like this. But at the same time, this find was so incredible and rare that he was overjoyed. This just goes to show you should always check your grandparents' garage. You never know what amazing treasures could be hiding inside it.
Wow, just that story alone, not knowing that your grandma and obviously your grandpa had cars like that, worth that amount of money, and you'd never even been in the garage. That must have been some find, that. He'll have been, ooh, all the way to the bank. Can't fault him.
Mafia Mansion. In 2020, York Regional Police in Toronto, Canada raided a gigantic mansion. On the 2.6-acre property sits a $9 million mansion. But as soon as the police raided this mansion, the owners abandoned it. That's because it was being used as a full-service black market luxury casino. This underground luxury casino is straight out of a James Bond movie. It was operated by a mafia in Canada. Inside were many big illegal gambling games. Wealthy gamblers would flock here from all over the world, primarily millionaire and billionaire Chinese businessmen. They had baccarat, poker and slot machines. All of it was unregulated and you could bet very high stakes. and of course not pay any taxes on your winnings. Because of COVID-19 restrictions, many normal casinos had to close, but this led to black market casinos exploding in popularity.
Yeah,
the gigantic mansion had armed security and guard dogs roaming the grounds. Gambling was underway as the mansion was raided. This meant that many of the gamblers and the owners of the mansion had to flee and abandon it.
Imagine all the cash that was left when they had to flee and abandoned it as it was getting raided like that. I bet you there was millions just left there. Underground casino like that because of COVID. Well, they've been raking it in. I'd imagine so anyway.
They left a lot of money laying around which was confiscated by the feds. But this was worth it for them as many of them avoided arrest. The gigantic mansion even had a restaurant and bar. The restaurant even served some illegal items, for example, shark's fin. The menu was in English and Chinese because of the high number of very rich Chinese clients who went to this casino. Inside the mansion's bar was $1.5 million of high-end booze. This included more than $4,000 of high-end wine. There were also many defense items too. Criminal mansion. It seems that crime really does pay. But eventually the law catches up to most criminals, and this means they have to leave their life of luxury behind, either because they end up in prison with their goods confiscated, or because they have to abandon their mansions when fleeing the country. A few years back, a Spanish YouTuber named It's Me Antho explored an abandoned mansion. It was very clear that the previous owners of this mansion had left in a hurry. There were dishes still stacked in the dishwasher. There was also an empty safe which likely had money and passports inside it. And there were also bullets scattered around the house.
Wow.
Inside the garage was even an abandoned car. The red sports car would have been worth a lot of money. So this suggests that whoever lived in this house needed to get out fast.
Yep.
Cash. Sometimes one of the most amazing finds in abandoned mansions is cold hard cash. That's what one urban explorer discovered in an abandoned mansion a few years back. An urban explorer named Freaktography entered an abandoned mansion in Canada one day. Inside were many unusual things. This included a hospital bed and also many family photos. There were also many possessions in the house. This would be normal in most houses, but normally when a house is abandoned, all of the possessions are removed. As the explorer was going through the house, he found a bag, and when he opened it, his jaw dropped. Inside were dozens of rolls of cash. There were thousands of dollars in neatly wrapped bundles. The money was American rather than Canadian. In most cases, people would simply take this money. But that is not what this urban explorer did. Freaktography has a motto when he explores abandoned mansions. That is to take nothing but photos and leave nothing but footprints. Instead, he amazingly tracked down a family member of the owner of this mansion. At first, the family member was upset that he'd got inside the house. But
I applaud his good morals, I really do. I applaud his good morals. But if any of you found that type of money in an abandoned mansion that had been abandoned for years, would you live up to that standard of morality? Because I, for one, wouldn't. And I could say that with certainty. That money would have been coming home with me. No doubt about it. No doubt about that one.
He amazingly tracked down a family member of the owner of this mansion. At first, the family member was upset that he'd got inside the house. But eventually the family member realized that the urban explorer had good intentions.
Oh, yes.
She gave the urban explorer a guided tour of the mansion. And that's when he presented her with the money. Ferrari Daytona. Outside one abandoned mansion in Spain, someone saw something strange one day. Poking out of the bushes appeared to be a red piece of metal. But when they walked closer, they realized that hidden in some bushes was an abandoned Ferrari Daytona. This car really had rusted, which was sad to see. It's not known why the mansion or car were abandoned. Ferrari Daytonas can sell for up to $600,000. But it's likely that this car would need to be refurbished a lot before it's sold. This was posted online and went viral. Many people in the comments encouraged the photographer to simply take the car and restore it himself. But as of now, no one is sure what happened to this abandoned Ferrari Daytona. It's sad that this was abandoned and left to rust.
It is.
But maybe one person will take this car, fix it, and make a lot of money. Or maybe just drive around in it themselves.
It'd take a lot of money to fix that.
$1 million comic book. The most rare and valuable comic book in the world is Action Comics #1.
I've never been one for comic books, really. I don't know, they've never just really appealed to me, but I know some of them can be worth millions, and that's just mind-blowing to me. But I mean, I guess as time goes on, it is classed as art, isn't it? As the original artists die and stuff, so I mean, it is an art, so I guess some of them do deserve the money. I don't know a lot about it, so can't really comment that much on it, but just saying.
It is the first ever comic book to feature Superman. It is valued at $3.25 million.
What?
And back in 1997 it was bought by actor Nicolas Cage. But 3 years later in 2000 the comic book was stolen from Nicolas Cage's house. But then 11 years later in 2011 it turned up again.
Selling physical products is not the best way of making money on Amazon in 2021. Now yes, that model does
The stolen comic book was found in an abandoned storage locker in California, USA. No one is sure how it got there. Some speculated that selling it would cause too much media attention, and therefore the thief would be caught if he tried to sell it.
Oh, yeah,
so that's why it was simply abandoned.
It was far too
Rare
hot.
coins. Sometimes it's better to find coins than big bundles of cash. That's because if you find the right rare coins, they can be worth a fortune. That's exactly what was found in one abandoned mansion in Pennsylvania. The house had been totally abandoned for 2 decades. But one day an expert went inside the house to find any valuables. Inside he discovered many rare coins going back to the 1820s. These were worth more than $200,000 in total. Many of these coins were just around the house. But there was also a hole in the wall which contained tens of thousands of dollars of rare coins. Classic Bugatti. One day a very mysterious and reclusive scientist named Dr. Harold Carr passed away. His relatives went over to his mansion to sort through his belongings. But that's when inside his garage they made an amazing find. They found an amazing 1937 classic Bugatti.
Wow.
This was one of only 17 in the world. This had been in the millionaire's garage collecting dust for 50 years. Amazingly, this car is worth nearly $10 million. It just goes to show that you should really explore every single crack and crevice of your home. You really never know what you might find. And it might just make you a millionaire. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment down below which was the most amazing thing found in abandoned millionaire mansions. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. But as always,
So, that was the most incredible things found in millionaires' mansions. And, I've got to agree, there was some rather amazing things found in those millionaires' mansions. But around where I live, you don't really find many derelict millionaire mansions, unfortunately, for me to go and explore and make myself a millionaire from. I think the most I've ever found in my life, I'd say monetary wise, all at once was £100, yeah. And obviously I kept it. I mean, I didn't know who the owner of it was, so it was goodwill to me, wasn't it, But I think the same when I lose money. It was someone else's lucky day that day, so, it's the way it goes. What's the most money any of you have ever found? Or have you ever found anything even bigger than just money? If you ever watch it, if you feel like commenting, just give us a comment. Please subscribe to the channel. That's Danny FYR. Stands for Find Your Reason. I'm Danny B, aka Stan, aka whatever the you want to call me. I'm out. Peace. And I love y'all.